Hello, everyone. It is 3 o'clock where I am, so it's got to be 3 o'clock somewhere else. Come on in, come on in. It is time for Sunday Skin. And happy holiday, happy Memorial Day to everyone. Come on in. I am going to sit here and I'm going to wait for our special guest to get backstage, and that'll give you guys a chance to come in. So let me come over here to my comment section. How's it going, everyone? Welcome. Hey, Ruby. Hi, Michelle. Happy Sunday. I just wanted to check a little early, and that is totally fine with me, my dear. How's it going? Is it warm where you are? It was like sweater, chilly, or cold this morning, and now it's like close to 90 degrees. But I guess that's perfect for the holiday. Are you cooking holiday dinner or do you all celebrate in Toronto? Um, like Memorial Day. I think it's mostly a holiday for the United States, but people do tend to have relatives that live in other parts of the world. And so they kind of pick up some of those traditions. Ruby says, just chill out at home. Okay. Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. I just got in from church and been running ever since I got home from church, washing clothes, taking food out because I really wasn't going to cook very much at all. But I'm granny sitting now. We don't have any holidays today. Okay. Well, I think Memorial Day is just, a holiday for the United States, but I know that you probably do still have some family or friends over here that are probably celebrating this weekend. It's a time to remember all, not just fallen soldiers, but anyone, uh, you know, your family, friends that have gone on. Hey, V, I am here. Well, that's good to know. And V says hello to Ruby. Yep, everybody come on in. Come on in. The more, the merrier. And hello to Maggie Beats Family TV. How are you? Welcome to the live. And Ruby says hi to V. Maggie Bead. Let me see. Let me pronounce this correctly. Maggie Beads Family TV. This is my first time noticing you in my live, and I certainly want to welcome you. Do you know Nesha? I know she was going to be inviting some friends. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We're happy to have you. B says Canada had Victoria Day on the 23rd of May, and it is similar to Memorial Day. Okay. All right. Hey, Sarah, how are you?
Thanks for
Oh,
asking.
here she comes. And you all know who I'm talking about. I can never say a name that is similar to her. For some reason, she does not like me. She shows up when I don't ask for her. When I ask for her help, she'll say, instead of saying, yes, may I help you? She'll say, huh? Maggie says, thank you. Hey, Sip and Talk, how are you? Hello, I know Nesha. Great. Good to see you. I welcome you. Hey, Pam. A view is a view. Thumbs up and shared. Hey, Age Graceful Chat and Mods. How are you, hon? I have not seen you in a while. Everything good? V says hello to everyone in the chat. Welcome. Viewers of view says she is nosy. Is that a wig? Sarah says, hey to Miss V. Maggie says, this is my baby's channel. Okay. Yep. After the live, then I'll come over and make friends with you. Sip and Talk says, I'm good and you. Thank you. I'm good. V says, please hit the like button. Thank you, V. Ruby says, hello to everyone. View says, I've been sick, just getting better. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you get better. We can't have you being sick. Yes, a doll with a wig. Okay, so that's who's being nosy. But she could be as nosy as she wants to be. You are, you know what? Even though you're not feeling your best, you are still hilarious to me. Hey, Red, how are you? Welcome. Hey, Penny. Good day, Michelle, and everyone. How's it going, Penny? I think Penny was the last person I talked to last night. We keep odd hours. Penny says hello to the ladies. Penny says, how is everyone? Hey, Nesha. Welcome, hon. Hey, everyone. Shell, I'm not sure to hop on. So, what I'm going to do now, since I see you, I am going to copy and paste the link to the actual stream, and I'm going to put it in the chat. And then when you see it, you're going to click on that link, and then I'll see you backstage. Penny says good and hi at Red, and Ruby says hi. Okay, I just sent over the link. And like I said, all you got to do is click on that, and I'll see you backstage. Red says hi at Penny. And I'm not going to highlight the link because that's just for Nesha, but I am going to start my camera. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the live. Welcome, welcome. And we want to welcome Nesha as soon as I see her backstage. But today I have something special for you guys. This young lady coming up to present this afternoon, I was introduced to her through Red December. And she explained that, she had, I believe they worked together, but she had made a purchase from her and she was really impressed by the purchase and this young lady and wanted to share her with us. And I do see Nesha backstage. So Red is saying hello at Nesha by Nature. Penny says that's neat how you can open with that screen. I need to learn that. Yeah, I'll show you how to do it. It's up under brand on your StreamYard. So you just get a clip. It's got to be like no more than 30 seconds of a clip. Add the music of your choice and then upload it to StreamYard And when you first come on, you can play that clip. It's like your kind of intro. Um, but I'll tell you how to do it again. All right. So without further ado, let's welcome Miss Nesha Adams to the Age Graceful channel. Add stream. There we go. Hey,
Oh, hey.
beautiful.
I'm like, I was talking. I'm like, can you hear me? I wasn't
Yeah,
even on yet.
not until I add you. I wanted to, introduce you first.
Yeah, I
Yes.
appreciate that.
Yeah. So, like I say, I welcome you to my channel. I'm anxious to learn just as much as the viewers are. And like I said, I did meet you through Red December. You might know her through another name, but we're not going to say that name. We're going to refer to her as Red.
Hmm.
And I did forget to tell you that. So I'm glad I remembered to tell you that part.
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
Yes. So um, I'm just going to ask you to tell us about yourself and your business in
Yeah.
any way that you would like to, so we can kind of get to know you. So, with that, if you're comfortable, I'm going to give you the entire box here so everybody can see you well. I'm right here. If you need me, just say Michelle and I'll come right back.
Okay.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So, I'm going to remove myself and you won't be able to hear me, but I can hear everything.
Okay. Should I before you go, should I pull the YouTube channel back up because I'm in the StreamYard thing, and if like someone drops a question, I can't see. So should
Okay,
I
so
pull that
yeah, the best thing for you to do is to pull it up on your phone
up? Okay.
and then cut your volume down because with the computer and the phone it'll cause a feedback.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing it now.
Okay. And let me know when you have it.
Okay, I think because I don't have the app, I won't be able to see the any questions. But if there are, just let me know.
Okay,
And jump back on.
so
If,
okay,
yeah.
and I can tell you, but I want to give you an opportunity to speak first, and then we'll do like questions afterwards. So if everybody hold their questions to the end, so that I can read them to her. So we'll give her a chance to introduce herself and tell us about her business and what it is that she does, and then we'll come in with questions afterward.
Okay.
That sound fair? Okay, I'm gonna remove myself from the chat. Not the chat, from
All
the
right.
screen. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I want to just start off by saying that my name is Venetia, but I do go by Nisha by Nature on Instagram. And I have a business that's still kind of like unfolding. Primarily, I'm selling candles, body scrubs, and bath salts. And it was curated out of my own personal desires to make products that are healthy, that are natural for me, because I'm on my self love journey, I'm on my spiritual journey, I'm on my healing journey. So initially that's kind of how it started, where I was a sucker for candles. And I'm sure there's some of you on here today that are like very obsessed with candles. And it also, not only was I like, I was so in love with candles, just for my own like emotional, mental, spiritual, or emotional, mental journey, I recognized that there was a huge correlation to use candles in conducive to spirituality. So for me, it kind of like all tied in together because naturally I was drawn to utilizing these products just for my own well being. So my business is called Magical Hour Candles and Company. Honestly, the idea to start it as a business, I think it was a like a sign or a calling from God. Because it was like this huge urge, all these ideas, these beautiful ideas started to come naturally, and I kind of just went off faith. But the idea was dropped on me like years ago. And I finally kind of like had the courage to just jump out and start my business with little to no money, by buying like the basic stuff, that the necessities, basically the basic stuff to start creating candles. And I started in November of 2021. So it's been about a little over what, 8 9 months maybe, or less than that, 6 7 months. I'm not doing the math right now, but I started back in November, and it's still kind of slowly, like I said, slowly but surely kind of unfolding. And I also have been incorporating some self-love coaching. So right now I have like a waiting list because I'm still kind of working on building, not curriculum, but kind of building a program so that I can create some group coaching and some self-love one-on-one coaching. So again, that's kind of still in the works. And if you want to be on a waiting list, you can also go to my website where you can find all of my products to be added to the wait list, which I am hoping that I'll be able to unfold somewhere down in fall of this year, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Um, and so that's just kind of like just some surface level information regarding my business and how I started and kind of why I started. Um, as far as my spiritual journey, I went through a very dark phase in my life. And during that phase, I didn't have a belief. I didn't know what to believe in. I didn't understand that I could go through such pain and such obstacles. And I knew what type of person I was, like at the core. Maybe I was unconsciously um not a good person, but at the core of who I was, I knew that I was a very good person. And I tried to live life with those basic principles of just kind of treating people how you want to be treated, kind of being kind. And I went through a lot, like this huge, I don't know, like transformation in my life. And during that time, because it was so dark for me, I kind of felt lost. And I think that's when God kind of comes into your life, when you feel lost, when you feel um alone, when you feel a lack of love. And along my journey of going through what they call the dark night of the soul, I I ran into so many spiritual people. But again, at that time in my life, I didn't have a relationship with God, basically. I wasn't religious. I wasn't into anything. I had no real spiritual foundation in my life. Everything that I thought of, as far as my beliefs when it came to God or just believing in a higher power, was out the window because I was going through so much. So it was hard for me to really feel grounded in that type of belief, knowing that I was going through a lot of things. However, the biggest the biggest pivot during that time was when I lost everything. I lost my job, I lost my car, I lost my house, I lost everything, and I am a single mother. So I was going through this while having my children, and I ran across so many people that was giving me messages, and it didn't really resonate until it actually needed to resonate. So, as far as when I finally got to a place in my life where I was like um open, and surrendering to the messages or the calls that God sent to me, it took for someone to share a scripture or a story in the Bible. And believe me, at that time I didn't believe in any of that. Like, not that I didn't believe, it was almost like, if I'm going through something like this, how could there be a God? How could there be this higher power that's supposed to save us, in the time of need? And a woman read a scripture out of a Bible, and I think it was a story of Job. And when she talked about his story, I related to it in so many ways. I'm like, oh my God, everything was literally just taken from me. That was the pivotal moment in my life where I started to really open my heart and my mind up to believing in God again. Um, and I later realized too, now at even now at this day, at this time in my life, I believe that regardless of our experiences, whether they're good or bad, one, we're not supposed to judge them as good or bad, but regardless of our experiences, we're supposed to learn something out of all of them. So for me, I had to learn a lot about structure, about stability, about being resilient, about pushing through when times do get hard, because what's on the other side is greatness. But it took for me to have to go through that and kind of hit that brick wall, in order for me to be more receptive to it. Because, like I said, I feel like God sends messages and callings. It's just a matter of if you're listening or not. So, going through that phase of my life, waking up to understanding that my relationship with God was here the whole time. It was just a matter if I was ready for it or not. It gives me the greatest insight that everything is going to be okay. Like, regardless of what we go through, everything is going to be okay. And it's not to dismiss anything, any way that you feel going through your experiences. Like, if you feel hurt, you feel betrayed, you feel lost, confused, upset, frustrated, angry, it does not dismiss those feelings. And it's important to allow yourself to feel that. That's what I learned. So it's important to allow yourself to feel that, because at some point that helps build your character, that helps you look inward, and it helps you grow, it helps you evolve. And that's the beauty, of experiencing hard times, and kind of seeing the goodness in it too. Like, at that time, I was going through a very, very toxic relationship. I was in a very toxic relationship, and because of my lack of self-love, and this is where self-love ties in, because of my lack of self-love, I was allowing so much to destroy me, which is how I ended up feeling lost. Um, and going through that phase allowed me to learn a lot about myself internally, about how worthy I am, about how important I am, and not about just how important I am, but what I actually believe is important, and how I can actually pursue and live and abide to whatever way of life that I believe is important to me. So it's like shutting out thoughts and beliefs that don't belong to me. Because I all I saw was toxic relationships growing up. So naturally I was in one and I normalized it. But one thing about being a mom is experiencing being a mom is my children's my children really showed me a lot. They also help me evolve and grow in so many ways. One thing that really opened my eyes about self-love, when it came to self-love, was hearing, just kind of being just experiencing being a mom. And what I mean by that is I have 3 boys. They love me, regardless. And while I'm internalizing what I look like, while I'm internalizing what I haven't completed in life, feeling um, doubtful or resentful about some of the decisions that I made, and how I'm not in a specific place in my life where I want to be, or where I should be because of my age, or where I should be because I'm a mom. And my kids don't see any of that. They don't see any of that. They love me just because of who I am. They love me throughout all of the things that we've ever gone through. And while I'm sitting there searching for love, and my children was giving me um unconditional love, unconditional love. So many things tied into why I'm on my self-love journey and my spiritual journey. But those are just some things I wanted to point out that I felt was very impactful on helping me change the trajectory of, like, how I'm viewing life, or how I'm perceiving life, and what life should be and how it should be. Um, those were basically some of the things that help. And so that also ties into being able to change your mindset. So naturally, I think if there's any change that you want in life, you just have to go inward. You have to ask yourself, like, what's holding you back? And whatever's holding you back, just understand that you can push through it. That's basically like my main moral, my main I would call it like my main morals to or principles to the way I live, to the way I allow myself to be guided by God or um whoever, higher power, whatever it is that I believe in, because without that foundation, I'm lost, truly. But Shell, if you want to hop back on, I don't know if anyone is asking any questions.
For the most part, it's just been like comments, and I was like sitting here taking a few notes, and we kind of discussed how we would do that ahead of time. And what I have so far is that you had mentioned that you got into the candle making business because you had felt lost and you lost everything, and it was due to a toxic relationship. And I don't know if you want to give details of that or whatever, and you don't have to, but most times when you have a woman who has children, then that toxic relationship was likely with the man who was in her life or the father of her children. And we can just like leave it simply to be said like that. And I kind of went through something a little bit similar, and I don't mind discussing it a little bit. I'm a lot older than you are, but probably it happened to me around the same age in my life. I was in my 20s, and my children's father, and everybody knows how I feel about him now because he's not doing so well. But when we broke up, he was like very toxic to me. Like he would come to my house and start an argument, and when he would leave, the kids would be crying, and he's going on about his business, but he's left me with these crying kids. But years later, he realized that he had did that, and I guess he was just like, pulling for straws because he still wanted me, but I did not want him, and so that was his way to like kind of get back at me. So he did apologize, but like I say, we're a lot older. We're in our mid 60s now, but he apologized like some years ago, and we can, like, to this day, the last Thanksgiving that I had was with him and his wife and all the children. And we both had our mates. And it was just, I felt like I was in the movie The Color Purple. I call them my Color Purple family. If I wanted to, I could pick up the phone and call either him or her right
Mhm.
now. But it's just like something that kind of like, as you get older and more mature, your eyes open up a lot more and you see things for what they were then, and you see things for what they are now. And
Yeah.
like right now, it's just all love.
Yeah.
Um,
Can I speak on that? So
yes,
speaking
you
on
can.
speaking on maturity, I feel like naturally I was always kind of more mature than my age group, and not to dismiss other millennials, because I feel like I may have now that I'm on my spiritual journey, I just feel like I truly believe in reincarnation. And I feel like I may have brought some experience from my past life, which is what, for me personally, some of the natural sense of knowing things kind of, it comes to me natural, right? Like I just have this strong sense of knowing things. The difference for me, and I feel like the reason why I had to experience what I experienced was because with the with the gift of discernment, which is what I kind of consider it, I was still normalizing dysfunction. So what I saw, what I experienced as a child, seeing other women date men who wasn't really taking care of the household, who wasn't really the head of household, I naturally gravitated towards, and didn't know, it was unconsciously like I'm attracted to these people, this type of person. One thing I
Mhm.
can say now that I'm out of it is I don't see him like that anymore. I'm not attracted to that anymore. I'm not even attracted to him physically anymore. Um, and I know that that does come with aging, it does come with maturity, but wrapped all in one. It's really about your level of growth, or the way you perceive that experience. Because one analogy that I like to give to people, my clients usually, is when it comes to perception. We both can have a job, the same exact pay, but we both get fired. Now, after we get fired, the way I experience getting fired, I celebrate, and I look at it like, "Woo! I'm glad that that's over," because maybe technically I realized it was toxic. It wasn't healthy. They wasn't paying me enough. It wasn't worth it anyways. So that was my experience. On the other hand, you may have experienced it in a way where you're like, dang it, I don't have a plan B. That was all I had. I'm not worthy of anything else. But we both experienced losing this job or being fired, however you want to word it. It's just a matter of how you perceive it. So I can say, even with some of my peers, we may have went through or gone through similar things, but they're still finding their way out of some of those obstacles that I think, when you judge it and think, oh, you shouldn't be dealing with, you're this old and you shouldn't be dealing with this type of stuff anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of putting an age on it, because too, I try to be mindful of judging less. Judging less, because what we project onto other people too, I feel like it's really what we're dealing with internally. So for me personally, I just try to avoid judging people on their journey. I try to acknowledge it for what it is. Like, it may take people a little bit longer to learn that stuff, and that's okay. But we need to go through things. We do need to go through things and experience them, so that we do come out and analyze, like, okay, so this just happened. I lost everything, or did I really lose it so that I can gain whatever it is that I've been trying to manifest, where I know that I'm worthy of a better job. So I'm so glad, because if it wasn't for them firing me, I probably wouldn't have quit. Things like that.
Right.
And me personally, I am open to being around my children's father in different settings now, because one, I feel like I've worked on myself in many ways, meaning like, um I don't allow him to trigger me anymore, because he triggered me a lot.
Mhm.
And I realized too, triggers are not really bad things. It's just a matter of, you know, asking yourself a series of questions like, okay, well, because say he say something and then someone else say something, but it only hurts my feelings when he says it. It's
Mhm.
because I have this box in belief about something, and it's in regards to him. So if I separate my belief, or just acknowledge and accept him for who he is and say, well, that's who he is, and that's how he talk, and he can, you know what I'm saying? You kind of
Mhm.
just, because too, you'll drive yourself crazy. You can't control anybody.
Exactly.
It's
You
like
cannot.
you'll drive
You
yourself
cannot.
crazy. But that's what I had to go through in order to see it that
Mhm.
way. And again, I could have gone through that lesson plenty more times after him, but I chose me. I chose me, especially when it came to my children.
Mhm.
And I
Exactly.
and I went through that for like 6 years. So it's like, sometimes people learn right away. It took me 6 years.
And
But
that's
that
a
was my
long
journey.
time,
It is. It
And that
is.
was going to be my next question. While you were going through this, you said that the children love you irregardless, but did you kind of like feel deep in your heart that maybe they were suffering a little bit because you couldn't break away from certain things, and
Of
it might have, you know what I'm saying?
of course. So this is so funny, because me and my friends, my circle of friends, one of my friends is also a single mom, and so we can relate to mother stuff all the time. And one thing that we talked about was, I told her how I was trying so hard after I woke up, basically, to my experiences. Like, wow, I just sat through a toxic relationship for 6 years. Now it's time for me to work on myself. Now it's time for me to find,
Mhm.
whatever it is that I just kind of get myself in alignment, um, and connected with God. I went through that phase, and I was asking myself, like, wow, you went through 6 years you unconsciously exposed them. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't like I knew, but I did, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have that level of awareness, but what are you doing with it? I couldn't break away the way I wanted to. Mentally, I did before I left physically. But
Mhm.
remember, everything was taken from me. That's the only reason why we were split. So just
Right.
imagine if that didn't work out the way it was supposed to work out. I mean, well, that's inevitable, but just imagine like if it didn't turn out the way that it did, I probably would have still been there at that time. I don't know. But everything happens for a reason. So for me,
Yes.
I do believe that I inflicted some stuff on my oldest child for sure because my parenting has evolved, right? So not only has he been exposed to a certain way of parenting before, but now he's being exposed to this new form of parenting, and he's like, I don't the he can see the difference between how he was treated and how his little brother is treated. And not to say that I treat them differently, but when it comes to kids, they have different personalities, so you do have to kind of treat them accordingly.
Mhm.
Um, but he does point out things like, you baby him, you do this for him and you do that for him, because he remembered the different type of parenting that he was exposed to. So I used to always pray and say, oh my God, I don't want my children to have to ever have to go to therapy. I don't want them to have to heal. I don't want, I don't want to inflict anything on them. But having those conversations with my son lets me know that it's already done.
Right.
It's already done.
Mhm.
So when you learn the gift and the reward of surrendering, allowing things to happen, because one, like I said, I'm praying like, God, please. But while I'm praying to God, life is still happening. So my only thing is, I feel like I learned that it's okay, because guess what? I was also dealing with childhood trauma. And I'm
Mhm.
still going through healing at 30 years old. So, but the good thing about it is I may have resented my mom my whole life, or not my whole life, half of my life. And then when I finally got to a place of understanding, that's kind of where you let it go, because then it's the gift of forgiveness. Not
Right.
only forgiving her, but forgiving yourself. Like
Mhm.
I'm withholding my love from her because she hurt me. But now I understand why, because I'm a mom. And I know that too, we do not mean no harm.
Mhm.
And it's really me remembering that even at 20 years old after having my first child, I still wasn't a grown woman. I don't believe. I
Oh,
thought I was. I thought I
I
was.
know exactly what you mean.
Like I'm
Yeah.
18. I'm past
Mhm.
18. I'm grown.
It
You
says
know
it on the driver's license. It might say it on a marriage license, but when you look inside that home and the functioning of that home, those
Mhm.
are not adults running around that house.
Big
Not
children.
then. It's
Big children.
older children raising babies.
Yes, yes. I'm so glad that you said that, because
Mhm.
and it's a beautiful thing hearing it from your perspective too, because at one point I thought I knew it all. At one point I thought I knew it all. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm getting myself into. Then you
Mhm.
get out of it, and you look back, and you be like, dang, you was a mess. Like, what? You were a mess. So, but I'm still embracing that part because it's a part of my story. I used
Mhm.
to dismiss it, and I used to feel embarrassed, especially talking to my children, because I love them so much, and I'm like, I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to, but the damage is already done. So it's like, what can
Right.
we do now? What can we do now
Right.
that we have this
Exactly.
understanding?
And I
And
would never take that out of your story, because um here on Age Graceful channel, I sit with a bunch of or a group of women that are, say, like the beauties over 40, and our friends and friends of friends. So we're all of similar ages.
Mhm.
But as you as your business grows and you travel and you speak more, every time you tell your story, certain parts of it are going to hit women of all ages. It'll
Yep.
be something there for everybody. So never remove anything from your story, things that you think might not help someone, but they actually do.
Yeah.
because you wouldn't until you told your story, I wouldn't have known that we would have had something similar in common.
In
You
common.
see,
Yeah.
so never remove that. And you also had mentioned something about feeling bad because you weren't at a place that you thought you should have been by a certain age. Let me tell you, that's never going to happen.
I know. I love that you just said.
That's
I'm learning that. I'm learning that. And this is why
25, 30, maybe by the time I'm 40. Oh, surely by the time I'm 50, it's never going to happen.
yeah. I think that has something to do with like it's on the surface of worthiness, you know, and then we compare ourselves to others that are our peers, you know, that are in certain groups. But when I want to talk about worthiness, because if you think about some of most of us that come from a impoverished environment or environment where there's a lack of resources. And it doesn't necessarily have to be physical resources, it could be love, it could be emotional resources, you know.
Mhm.
Because now as an adult, I understand that my mother didn't have the capacity to love me the way I wanted to be loved or needed to be loved. She didn't have it. And I love her still. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
there's no
you
love
always
lost
love your
because of that.
parents. You can never not love your parent.
Yeah,
Even
exactly.
an
But
abused child loves their parent because they're always trying to figure out a way to please the parent so they can
yes,
gain that love.
yes.
It has to be extreme circumstances for a child to turn their back on a parent.
Yes, I agree with that 100%
Mhm.
because even while I was hurting, I still wanted to be around her. But I realized even though I love her, we don't have to be around each other to the point where we're both triggering each other, right? So
Mhm.
that statement or that phrase that's coined as loving people from a distance, that is real, right?
Oh,
And
yeah, I know.
and it took me a long time. It took me a long time because who doesn't want to be around their mom, you know? So
Mhm.
I do I had to learn a lot. Like I just had to learn to one, just be respectful of her space. Like, right? She may not have the capacity to even understand where I'm at, even though I can see my growth, I witness my growth, I'm experiencing my growth. She may still see
Mhm.
me as a little child because I'm her child. But she may see me in a different light because been she hasn't necessarily been on the same journey with me. So she don't really see I don't believe she don't see my growth because there's times where I may have made a comment, you know, maybe a compliment or something like that. This is when I started recognizing, like, okay, I need to figure out how to set healthy boundaries. Even though I love her so much, I just got to find
Mhm.
a way to set healthy boundaries because I'm triggered every single time she responds to me in this way. But I was seeing it at the time, I was seeing it as her being mad at me about something.
Mhm.
Now I see it as her harnessing some past experience and inflicting it unconsciously onto me. It's almost like because I was hurt in the past and I don't want to deal with it, I'm pushing it back, but it's still there. It's coming out in my conversation with you. It's coming out in the way I view you. It's coming out in the way whatever it is, it's coming out, but she don't see
Mhm.
it. But I do because I'm feeling it. I'm triggered by it. I'm not understanding why I'm being talked to like that. And I ain't did nothing wrong to you, but again, it's about perception too. We talk
Mhm.
about having rose colored glasses. How about childhood trauma glasses? How about normalizing dysfunction glasses? Because we may not unconsciously be aware enough to see the
Right.
pain that we're harnessing and inflicting it onto others. I'll give a prime example. I'll say, Mom, you look beautiful today. And she'll respond and say, "Oh, today, what you trying to say?" So it's like, whoa, how did you internalize that? How
Right.
did you internalize that? So then my trigger is, you don't know me. Now I'm hurt because all I want is to be understood. But I
Mhm.
recognize going through therapy, having spiritual mentors, having spiritual coaches, people that really love you genuinely and want to see you grow and elevate, they'll affirm you they'll affirm you so that you know, like, okay, I'm not tripping. Because at first I would be around, but I'm like, I'm walking on eggshells. Why do I feel this way? Because I want her to feel so comfortable and wherever she is in life, but at the same time, I'm allowing myself to be triggered. So
And
I
see, that's
learned,
what I just said, uh, not to say that you were abused or anything like that, but just say like mentally, you know what I'm saying?
mm,
And you're still trying to do everything that you can do to please your mom.
yep,
And I'm going to say this because I don't have either parent. You
mm,
only get one mom.
mm.
So since I'm going to say this, and I hope it's not offensive to you,
Say what you
I
gotta
would almost have to say that maybe maturity wise, that you have matured maybe a little bit more than your mom in certain things.
say. Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you at least know that you should set boundaries.
Yeah.
So since you know that, set your boundaries, but still, love on your mom because
Yes.
you only get one.
Yes. And I
It may
do.
and maybe it could be a time, that you could sit down with her and say, "Can I have a conversation with you, mom?"
Mm.
And discuss with her like how you feel, and what you would like to see, and just see if she's welcome to that, and maybe ask her a question or two about like maybe some whys, um that she did this or said that, so that you can get into like a conversation and have some kind of resolve about it, but not to the point of like an argument. That's what you
Yeah.
don't make that clear from the beginning. We're not going to be arguing.
Yeah.
We're not going to trigger one another, poke the bear at one another, but I just, as you, as my mom, I respect you. I want to sit down and have a conversation with you. And I'm
Yeah.
sure she would be open to it. Like, it's like, what mother wouldn't? And
Yeah. I
there's one
so
thing, your relationship with the children's dad and your relationship with your mom. You had those I mean, two different types of toxicity in your
yeah.
life.
Hmm.
So that must have been the point where you finally evolve and you come up with this great idea for your business.
I believe so. So I feel like this has going through what I've gone through has definitely allowed the birth of me being able to go after my desires or me being able to really hear God's calling. So I agree with that 100%. Now, one thing I want you to know is that I have had several conversations with my
Mhm.
mother, and I continue to try to explore that, like maybe every couple of months, every 3 months, every half year. I try to explore that because I do want to see some growth in our relationship, because I feel like we've always had a bond, but it was always based on her needs, kind of. You know what I'm saying? So it was almost like meeting her where she was all the time. But I understand that that's still important, right? If I know and I have the understanding and the level of awareness that is still, it's important to meet her where she is. I used to feel like that was just wrong. That's the only thing that I used to fight that all the time. Like, well, how come she can't meet me where I'm at? And it was always that. It was always because I started understanding that I was important too. So I had to find a balance. I had to find a balance on my self-love journey, because you don't want to be too far on. I look at it like it's a spectrum, like a line, where you love yourself too much and you kind of dismiss others and unconsciously, hurt others just by putting yourself first, or too far on the other side of spectrum where you're a people pleaser and you're compromising yourself for to make everyone else happy. So there needs to be a balance where you're able to level out, um not only kind of setting your own healthy boundaries on your self-love journey, but also having enough availability, having enough love to give too, you know?
Yeah, I'm understanding what you say. I was just looking at some of the comments. I want to read a couple of them. Penny says, I think we all went through toxic relationships, so she can agree. And she also says, yes, my kid's father was really toxic with her. Um, Let me see this comment here. That's a blessing. He apologized. Are you referring to my children's father? Yes, he did apologize. So that was a blessing that he did realize that, you know. And V says, I love this message very much because living life with love and fullness is what I am about. True self love. And V is. Um, and you have to have a chance to go to her channel, but after every video that she posts, she always says love self plenty, love self
Mhm.
first, because you
Yeah,
do have to self, love yourself in order
yeah,
to love others. She says it each and every video. So I knew that this live stream would really resonate with her. um, and I just want to say to hello to everyone or anyone else who has entered the room since Nisha, began her presentation. I appreciate all of you coming in, and I while I have the opportunity, I do have something here. So when we get to that point, I'm gonna open up my box and share with the viewers what I have here, but I'm gonna let you, do your thing first. So I do have something on my side that I can share as well. Let's see. Penny also says, but remember to honor and love your mom in spite of. Exactly. Me and Penny are on the same wavelength because not only is she your mom, she's also your children's grandmother.
yes,
And my grandmothers, oh my goodness. Especially, I think I had a close relationship with my mother's mother. But it was like she was my mother. If I would go over there and spend the night and she would send me to the store, I'd come back and she'd be like, Helen, you forgot to, she said, I need to send you back to the store. You forgot to get such and such and such. And I'd be like, Grandma B, it's Michelle. And then she would just start laughing because the only child she had was my mother.
yeah,
And I look a lot like my mom, except for I took height after my dad and stuff like that. But she would call me Helen. And so I just felt really close to that grandmother. And so I know most kids love their grandmothers, and
yeah,
I'm sure yours do too.
yeah,
The
yeah,
boys love their grandmother or grandmothers if both of them are living. So, for the sake of that relationship as well, like I have my granddaughter with me now. She's downstairs. I She went to church with me. She's been going to church with me since I first started going to this church, and so the church has accepted her, and she's like my daughter. I don't have a daughter, so I spoil her. Yep. So, yep. Always love on your mom, no matter what. And if you see things getting kind of tight, kind of back up for a minute so it doesn't
yeah,
get ugly,
yeah.
and
I had
then
to
go,
learn that. I had to
yep.
learn that because I see so much potential in people,
Mhm.
and I see greatness in people. And a part of me wanted my mom to see this part of her that I feel like she didn't see. So when I recognized that's kind of like it was triggering to her, me bringing up that subject, or it was triggering for her, um, to explore things that she wasn't yet ready to explore, because I'm looking at it like, well, mom, I'm on my spiritual journey. I had to learn this thing and I love it on the other side. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like I'm so excited to share with you. I want to bring you with me because I love her so much, you know?
Right.
But it was, I had to learn that. I had to learn that because I was pushing buttons, triggering. We got into arguments. Um, and as a result of those experiences, neither one of us walked away happy. So I realized, when I do bring up these conversations, just to allow it to flow naturally, for one, not to force her to engage in those conversations, but to kind of allow it to flow naturally, and whenever there is an opportunity to just bring it up versus me trying to force it again, so I had to learn that, because for so long I'm like, I want this, I want this relationship to be where I can see the potential. And again, I had to learn too, it was coming off very disrespectful to her, like, how can you point out something in me and it's making me feel bad, so, and that's something I had to
And
learn.
you're my daughter.
And you're my daughter. And you're my daughter. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, because then it came off that, oh, you think you know everything, and then I did internalize that, but it still allowed me to see her in a different light and understand her, and where she is in life. Like, I still love her regardless. I still want to be around her regardless. It's just I have to set healthy boundaries around some of the conversations we have, or set healthy boundaries around certain activities that we engage in. There's certain things that I know that, for instance, if we're like in a party setting, I probably can't be around for too long because I know how she can get sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like just
Mhm.
learning to set those healthy boundaries, but not in a way where I'm like removing myself from her
Mhm.
life, or not in a way where I have to disrespect her or dismiss her. Um,
Right.
it's 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 been a journey, but I'm finally at a place um of peace with that, because for a long time, the me forcing those conversations, I started to realize the root of it was me resenting her. It had nothing to do with, well, not nothing to do. It was more of, oh, because you did this to me. It's not like I wanted an apology, but it was like closure I needed or something. It was like something I needed from her to make me feel good about what we went through together. Versus
You wanted acknowledgement.
that too. And I learned that I don't need that from her. I don't need her to apologize or give me something for me to forgive her or to forgive myself. I don't need that. But
Mhm.
at first, that's what
Yeah,
I thought.
at first
This
you
is the
did. At
only way
first
out.
you did.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like this is the only way out. We're gonna have this conversation, and
Mhm.
like I said, I had to learn that. I went through that and I didn't like how I felt. I didn't like how she felt, I didn't like any of it. So I absolutely agree. I love my mom so much, more than she may know.
Right. Are you able to see comments if I put them up here in the box?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So Penny is saying you have to pray for her and the Lord that God would mend your broken relationship, not saying y'all broken, but God is love. And that's
Yes.
true.
Yes. Yes.
True.
And believe
It's
me,
so true.
there's been plenty nights of praying. But I'm at a place of peace now. I feel like it's not necessarily a problem. It's not something I need a solution or to resolve. I'm open and aware of where I am, where she is, and I'm okay with that. I don't have to stress out myself about it. I don't have to stress out her about it. Um,
And Rachel from the Home Life Love channel, she says living apologetically doesn't benefit anyone. It enables one and hurts the other. And that's true.
can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
This was her comment. She's saying living apologetically doesn't benefit anyone. So, in other words, if you're always the one apologizing, it allows the other person to pretty much get away with anything that they want to, but it continues to hurt you. So you're continuously apologizing for something, and it's not benefiting you. It just enables them to hurt you even more. And I believe that's what Rachel is trying to say. And I'm gonna ask Rachel to put a 1 in the chat if that's what she is trying to say. And if she is not, just for some more clarification. Let's see. Red says great conversation. Um, hey Manuela, which is makeup therapy. Um, she's saying something that's a great win. I must have missed a little bit of a comment somewhere, but I'm trying to catch like specific comments and questions. And that was the last one, and that came from Rachel. Okay, so Rachel put a 1 in the chat that I did explain it how she meant it, the comment to be. Can you hear me, Nesha?
Oh yes, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So, for you to continuously to apologize each and
Yeah,
every time, you know.
yeah, I agree 100%. And I think too that's why it's important for you to live in your truth and acknowledge what you have control over, because at some point unconsciously, I think I thought I could control the situation. Like if I just present this conversation, it'll go like this, and I had this high expectation and it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. That I recognized after going through that phase for so long, I don't necessarily need an apology. I don't need closure. I don't need her to acknowledge me, that happened. I don't need her to understand me.
Mhm.
But that's what I wanted. I thought that that's what I needed to move forward in life. But I realized too, when you recognize the controls, what the controllables and the uncontrollables, you identify what it is that you have control over and what you don't have control over. And then you focus on just the things that you do have control over. And this is something that I'm sure that my mom instilled in me as a child. Because I can hear her saying things, you focus on everything and that's a lot, it's overwhelming. But I think that too, that kind of goes hand in hand with my lack of worthiness. So it's like I need this reassurance. You need to reassure me. You need to make me feel good. You need to make me feel good. So that's kind of what I was tugging at.
And making yourself feel better about anything comes from you.
You, yes, internally. Exactly.
It
Exactly.
comes from you. Let's see. Red says, my mother passed 2 years ago. She was a single parent. I'm happy that I stuck with our relationship. It was just me and her growing up. Yep.
Yeah.
Red was the only child, like my mom was. And I'm not sure. Do you have siblings?
Yes. So I was the
You do.
oldest of
You're the
five.
I am too. So that's a whole nother discussion.
Yes. Boy.
But tell us more about the business.
Yeah, so I did
Let's
want
get
to
into
actually
that piece.
yep, so I did want to present to you guys the candles that I make. I have 4 candles that I'm primarily focused on right now, which is the Ultimate Collection. I have the Self-Love candle, which has roses and pink rose quartz crystals in. So this is a candle with a wooden wick. I would just snip this before I package it and stuff. But again, I make these at home. This is my 8-ounce candle. It comes in a white matte tin jar, and they all have wooden wicks. So what Michelle is showing you guys is her candle that she purchased, which is also the self love candle. She has it in a 12-ounce. In the meantime, I have the self love candle, the abundance candle, which I am currently sold out of, the forgiveness candle, which is a very citrusy and sweet scent, and it comes with the like blue and green crystals in here. And then I have the protection candle, which comes with the purple and black, which is amethyst and black tourmaline crystals. Um, Also come in 8 ounce too. So I have samples that come in a 2 ounce that you can purchase for $5. I have the 8 ounce candles that you can purchase for starting at $15. And then I have the 12-ounce candles that start off at $25. And that right there is the self-love candle. All of them are handmade from my kitchen by myself. I am looking to build a team because I am getting a higher demand. And but yeah, and then I have body scrubs and bath salts as well, but they're I'm currently sold out of those as well.
Now I have a question. Is this some type of a crystal here?
That's the rose quartz crystal.
Okay. You don't advise burning this with the candle, do you?
Yeah, so when you get the first melt, can you hear me? Can you hear me? My laptop just
Yes.
did a little. Can you hear me? Okay. When you get the first little melt pool and it kind of melts down a little bit because the crystal is kind of in the wax, when you get a little bit of a melt pool, you can just take it out at that time and you may have to clean it off if there's still a little wax residue. But the rose petals you can keep in there and that'll be perfectly fine.
And I could smell it before I took it out of the box. And I
Before you
love
read the
oil scents. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. But this
Yep,
is
and you
what
can
mine looks like.
they all have wooden wicks. You can purchase them on my website, which is mymagicalhour.com.
Now, do you advise lighting both of the wicks?
Yes. So because of how thick the jar is or how wide the jar is, if you only burn one wick, it won't burn as much of a big pool. So you want to make sure that at least at the beginning you want to burn both wicks at the beginning. If you want to burn it, if you want like a slower burn, you can do one wick at a time after you get that first melt pool.
Okay.
And they are the crackle wicks. So if you are taking a bubble bath and you just want to cut the lights off, light your candles, you'll hear the little crackling.
I'm hearing it now.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
So for safety, I'm going to put this to the side of me. And I guess once it gets down to the wax, it kind of puts itself out a little bit and kind of smolders.
It shouldn't, you may have to reburn it.
Okay.
Is it going out or
The one on this side next to some flowers did, but I can relight it.
relight it? Yeah, you may have to relight it.
Okay, I think it's called. I think it had to burn off the top part of it a little bit. The top
Yeah,
of
and
it.
I'm learning. Yeah, and I'm learning that it actually works better when I pour the wax over the wicks to give it
Mm-hmm.
that to help ignite it and keep the burn on there a little bit longer. But I'm still kind of learning. Like I said, it's still kind of growing. And I'm open to feedback. I'm open to any type of constructive criticism because I'm learning too. Like I am serving you, so I want to make sure that I'm providing you the best products, the best services. Um, and like I said, I just started in November, so I'm still learning and it's a lot. It's a lot. But
Well,
yep.
you certainly have a story to tell, and it makes total sense how this business was born. Total sense.
Yeah.
And I am so happy for you and so proud of you.
Thank you.
Some people have difficulty with like redirecting um, their destined, what they're destined to do in life. Sometimes people can do it quicker than others, but I certainly hope that anybody that's experiencing anything like what you went through or something similar can take something away from this conversation today. I found it very interesting. It's like I could actually sit up here and talk to you all day. Like, hey, girl, hey, what's up for the
Yeah,
day?
I
What's
get
going
that a lot.
on?
I get that
Yeah.
a lot. I think it's because primarily I'm okay with being vulnerable and I'm okay with having some conversations that may not always be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what I realize is a lot of us go through things or go through life and not think that or believe that we're going through it by ourselves or believe that we're the only ones going through something would no one else would understand or no one else would be able to relate or it's embarrassing or but that's why I said too being on my self-love journey I'm learning to just embrace all of me, embrace my
Right.
entire story.
Exactly. Red, I don't know if you can put her business in the chat for me. Because V was asking where did we get the candles from, and I meant to have that pulled up
i'm
before we
actually
started.
feeling I'm feeling called to give who is Simply You makeup.
That's V.
I'm feeling called to give you this self-love candle. I'm gonna have to obtain some of your information so I can send you this candle for free. I'm feeling
Oh, that is
so
so nice.
you said when your soul is at peace, it is such a beautiful thing and you will bounce faster when things are unaligned. I wish you lots of light, Nisha. Thank you so much.
And you know what? You couldn't have picked a better person. This woman, she meditates daily,
Mm,
and she doesn't go a day without it. She does not go a video without giving some type of direction or a quote that will help others at the end of her videos. When you go to her channel, if you get an opportunity, you will see what I'm talking about. And I'm sure that everybody would totally agree. She is just that type of person. My husband, he's had surgery, and she has contacted me every day this week to check on him. That's just the type of person
oh
she
my
is.
God, I love that. I love that
Yeah,
so much. Wow. I just wrote your channel down, so I'll be there. Where do we get the candles from?
yeah, she was the one who had asked. So,
Don't worry
um,
about it now, sis. Send me your address.
yep, I'm gonna pull up if Red didn't do it. I'm gonna pull up her Instagram. Okay, she has the company name there, but I want to also put up her Instagram if you could, Red, and then that way V can get in her DMs and they can, chit chat a little bit.
Thank you.
Manuela, who is the makeup therapy channel, says my mom was a single parent as my dad was deported and I was guilty of all her unhappiness. Oh, I understand that was not easy, and I was more mature than my mom and handle all the sadness. And
Mm,
you would be surprised how children sometimes, when they see that the parent is not in a good place, they can pick up on it and
yes.
handle it. And,
Yes.
and so your dad was deported from the United States, Manuela. Let's see. The candle looks lovely. It is very beautiful.
Thank
Red
you.
says beautiful candle. Penny says, yes, those are beautiful. Do you bundle deals? Just curious. She did have a bundle for Mother's Day.
But I do have currently a sale for buy three candles, get one free. I am trying to work on some sort of like gift box. that is something that people can buy year round or like subscribe to, but that's kind of like in the works right now.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like I said, you had a shared with us a wonderful story. And sometimes you have to talk about the parts that are not so
Pretty.
glittery and beautiful, in order to for people to understand the end game of it all, how
What
things
I
actually turned out in the end.
what I learned on my journey is the reason why self-love is so important. I believe the root of everyone's unhappiness is the lack of love. So it's like if you feel like you need to find love from an external entity or an external something instead of going inward and pouring into your own cup what you already have, because we're all made with love. We're all made from love. We are love, right? So it's almost like if you don't see yourself in that light or acknowledge yourself in that light, you're looking for something else to fill your cup with that love, because we all want it, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. We all want love. We all want love at the end of the day. And maybe the level of love, it may or may not contribute to your unhappiness, but I just feel like whatever amount of love that you feel like you need, it's already within you. But when you don't see it, it's like you go to external things, environments, entities, people, places to fill your cup. And not all the time are those things healthy, or not all the time are those things available or reliable. Like, just like I said, I was pushing and pulling and tugging on my mom, but it's like if she don't have the capacity, you're trying to juice something from somebody that don't have it, enough to give. And nor should I be looking for it from her in that way. You know what I'm saying? To the point where it's like she doesn't she it's inevitable, and you can still love people, you can still share your love with people if you have the capacity to, if
Hmm.
you have the and then I think intention, somewhere in there, intention matters. Are you doing it on a transactional basis, like I'm doing this just to get a benefit from it, or are you doing it out the kindness of your heart? Because at the end of the day, I feel like that's what we all want. So it's like, sorry, I be getting deep about stuff, but that's just kind of how I feel
Well,
like,
that's how you're evolving right now. That's the space that you're in. You're happy about it. You want to share it. And there is nothing better in the world to share than love.
yes.
It's not, because
Yes,
if people are accepting, it solves a multitude of problems.
it does. It does. Like, one big thing that I always advise people, we live, or we may live in chaos, right? Or the environment around us is chaotic, or the environment around that environment is chaotic.
Hmm.
But you just kind of got to find what is your peace in the midst of that chaos. Like, for me, it's not to dismiss anyone that was harmed or impacted by COVID. In my reality, COVID hit to wake people up. COVID hit to sit people down. COVID hit to make you sit in your stuff so you can acknowledge and analyze where you are in life and if you're really truly happy. There was the highest rate ever of unemployment, the highest rate ever of people getting divorced, breaking up, because they started acknowledging, wow, I really don't like this person. I really don't like this job. I'm really compromising what I really truly feel on the inside,
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think it's just so important for you to acknowledge that you have it within you, but you just got to know that you're worth it. You have to know that you're just as important. You have to know that you're just as capable. You have to know that all the tools that you need are within you. When I see people on Instagram and TikTok who have missing limbs, or, was born just different, and they're expressing themselves on social media and they're using what they got to still
Exactly.
survive, it's like,
Exactly.
and it makes you think like, wow, they
How
really
can
want.
I complain? How can I not do something for myself?
Yes.
Look at them.
So, oh my God. And it's so beautiful too, because I look at anything that kind of I'm exposed to. I just kind of look at it as a message or a sign from God. Like God's trying to tell me something. God's trying to teach
Mhm.
you. Be
Exactly.
humble, you know, whatever the case might be, especially when it's repetitive, but you got to be aware to see certain things and be open to listen to actually hear certain things.
Hey, Judy, it's so good to see you. And thank you so much, Red, for putting Nisha's Instagram along with in her Instagram is also a link to her website to
Website.
purchase the candles.
Yep.
And this has been an exceptional story of love.
Yes.
You might
Thank
not have found it in that toxic relationship, but
Yeah.
you found it within yourself.
Yes. 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 It's so crazy because I remember seeing like a meme or a picture or something on Instagram where it was like it was like a drawing, right? But it was like a woman's body and it had a circle like around the area, right? Just circular,
Okay.
like kind of pointing out like this area and a little message bubble saying, why don't you just, it was like connected to the heart or something like that. It was almost like a message saying, why don't you just let this relationship go because you're only in it so that you can get the love that you want, but you don't need to go through that to get the love that you already have. So it was
Hmm.
almost like we're looking for love so much
Right.
outside of our body, but it's within you. You
Right.
know, I
A
love that.
physical attachment
Yes,
instead of a mental attachment with someone who actually cares about you or something that's going to
exactly.
benefit you in the end.
Exactly.
I just love your message.
Thank
And you
you.
are just the sweetest thing. What time is it now? Let me see. Let me close. Let me look at my phone to find out what time it is. It's 4:22. Um I don't know. Do you have any ending thoughts, takeaways that we can all use? Something that you would recommend for us in life?
Yes, I would recommend that wherever you are in life, give yourself grace. No more self-criticizing, no more minimizing yourself to make everyone else feel comfortable. No more compromising your own principles, beliefs, morals to fit in spaces because to me those are signs that you don't belong, but you belong somewhere, just not there. And that's okay. So give
Mhm.
yourself grace on your journey. Continue to embrace your story and
Mhm.
love yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It took me so long to wear my locks. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's been a year, and seriously, and now I'm wearing them. I'm like, I feel confident.
You
You know, it's like
feel proud.
you feel
That's
proud,
the,
and it's
and you
like,
and you're supposed to. And I'm like this. I've been in the garden trying to get all my plants in before
yeah,
we take our vacation or whatever. So I'm like, oh my goodness, this is supposed to be a beauty channel, and I look wild right now. But it is what it is. It is
yeah,
what it
no,
is.
you embrace
And
it
I'm accepting of it today because
as you should, as you
it
should,
is.
because
Mhm.
too, when I think about self acceptance, think about the, like if you're single, the man or the woman you want to manifest, husband, wife you want to connect with, you have to be so confident in yourself that you
Mhm.
attract somebody that loves you just as much as
On
you
that
love you.
level, on that same level.
Yes, and you
And
want to.
on another platform that I'm on, I have met some women who are like, I would say like mid to upper 40s.
Mm,
And a couple of them are married, but it's so many who are not,
yeah,
and they want to find somebody good, but sometimes I think that they need to work on themselves a little
Mhm.
bit first, just like you say, and then you will draw something that you're equally yoked to.
Absolutely.
I just don't want anything like last night. And I don't know why these young people do this. Um,
The young
they
people.
call it revenge porn, I believe it is.
Oh.
So I had my husband had called me to unlock the door because like if I'm in the house towards the front and he's all the way in the back, we don't want anybody coming in between, and like just walking in the house. So we lock up. And
Mhm.
he had left his keys in the house. So I let him in and then I heard, how you can hear a notification of a message.
Mhm.
So I looked and I'm like, what is he sending me a picture of? He was just standing right here. Why didn't he show me the picture? And then I looked again and I'm like, this is not my husband's number. As a matter of fact, the number did not have a name associated with it.
Mhm.
They just decided to announce what they were all about and sent me a picture of their private parts. It was a man.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know who he thought he was sending it to.
Oh my God.
I believe it was like a wrong number because if it was somebody I knew, then a name would have come up with it.
Mhm.
But that's how they do this purposely. Purpose. I can't say it. They do it purposely.
Yeah.
Okay, sending pictures, let me see yours and I'll send you mine. That's not how you do.
Yeah.
You don't do that. And
Yeah.
then the moment somebody's mad at you, then they're doing the revenge porn and then they're putting it on all the social media websites and then it's a big mess.
Mm.
So it's like you I don't know at what point some people are going to understand. It's just some things that you do not do.
Yeah. I think
And
that
here
kind of ties
I
into.
have a picture of a man on my phone that I don't even know that he meant to send to somebody else.
Oh my God.
And
That
so
is
my
so
husband,
wild.
I say, should I tell him or not? And I'm like, well, what if something happened to you and then he find the picture? You better tell him, fool. So, so I showed him the picture and told him he was like, well, are you going to report it to the police? I'm like, report it to the police. I'm like, I'm not saying a word because I say I wanted to say something to him for sending it to me, but he could notate my number and continue to harass me. So
Mm.
I'd rather just block him and just let it just gently
Die down.
fade away.
Yeah. Yeah.
No more contact. He'll figure it out that he sent it to the wrong person. He
Exactly.
probably just dialed a number randomly
Yeah.
because clearly it's nobody that I know. But
That
he
is
was just
crazy.
bragging on himself in the picture, and I'm like,
Wow.
oh my goodness. I'm like, and I'm hoping that I didn't get another one from the girl, but
Whoa. That is a wild experience.
it is.
But it's hard to kind of dictate how people move nowadays. It's almost like there's no cap on what to do, what not to do. There's no, you know, I don't know. I don't
Clearly,
know
he's not ready for a relationship.
clearly.
If he can just send his pictures out to random
Clearly.
people,
Yeah,
you're not ready for a true relationship.
not at all.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. Thanks for sharing. Yeah.
Okay, I want to just see. I'm gonna go down here to the bottom. Judy says that is sick. People need Jesus and the right kind of guidance. You are
Definitely.
so correct, Judy. View says, wait a minute, wrong one. She just says simply, wow.
Wow.
And V says, keep your light shining in life no matter what. Great conversation. Keep rising, Nisha. More power to you in the universe. That's
Thank
right.
you. Thank you
And
so much.
Judy says, you both are beautiful. Oh, thank you,
Thank
Judy.
you.
I appreciate you guys so much for coming in and listening to what Nesha has to say. Um, and she's a lot younger than most of us, but I just thought that the things that I had heard were so wonderful, and I was correct. You know, all of us benefited from this live stream. V says, Michelle, I'm laughing so loud about the picture. Girl, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what is, and it was
What
in
is
the
going
middle of
on?
the afternoon, but I'm like,
2022.
oh, huh?
It's 2022. You never know what you get. You never know what you get. Crazy.
Oh my goodness. Well, I didn't expect it. I'll put it like that. Okay, my candle is burning just right.
How
And
does it smell?
it smells good. I see it beginning to pull. And so I want to keep it burning. And so I'm gonna probably have my husband to help me with my things and come from I film and do everything in upstairs attic area. So I have to take everything down. Let's see. Penny says, thank you, ladies. Enjoyed the live show. Penny, I appreciate you. I don't know how many people are in here that were a part of the weight loss challenge. And if anyone kind of wanted to check in with that, I can announce that I am 4 pounds away from my work weight. So I got 4 more pounds to lose for the work weight. And then can I lose another 5 to go with it? So can I lose 9 more pounds before the wedding? The wedding is June the 18th. Let's
Are you
see.
getting married? Oh no, you're not getting
Oh,
married.
no. I got married last year. So this year, his brother is getting married. So we're going out of town
Okay,
for a wedding.
that's nice.
Okay, he says she is now 144. So you've lost two. Um, Let me go back to my notes for that. So I didn't take down anybody's weight, but V wanted to lose 15 pounds. I wanted to lose 15 and I've lost 6. I wanted to lose 15 by the wedding. So I've lost 6. I'm just going to have to get real busy and get with it. Avocados have become my best friend lately. I love avocados. Today I'm going to grill some chicken and probably make some guacamole. My granddaughter loves guacamole, so we'll probably have grilled chicken and guacamole, and I'll probably make a bowl of this pasta dish that I made on a cooking show last week, and I had extra sauce left over. So I'm just going to make another bowl because I didn't even plan to cook for the holiday. I'm like, because my husband, he doesn't eat a lot. So it's like, why just cook for me and him when I'm
Yeah.
trying to lose? I could just fix him something, a steak and a baked potato or something, and I could just whatever, maybe have a light salad. V says, good job, Michelle. Julia's not here. She wanted to lose 10. Red wanted to gain 5. Max is not here. She wanted to lose 65 by October. Lucille is not here. She wanted to lose 15. Manuela wanted to lose 30 by October. Tanya is not here. She wanted to lose 10. And Penny wanted to lose 10. So, um, you guys know that I go live every other Sunday, but today will be my last live until after we get back from the wedding. So I will not see you guys until Sunday, June the 26th. This will be my last live. I do have a video Tuesday with Beauty Over 40. And that's the 31st of May, the last Tuesday of the month. And then on the 8th of June, Curve Collabs, we have a video coming up, and we're doing June wedding looks where we'll either be the bride, a guest, mother of the bride, matron of honor. Is what each individual person decides to do for their video, but we will be posting those on June the 8th. So that'll be the last thing that I do before I leave town, because I also have the church anniversary coming up 2 weeks from today. So I'm a busy lady in the month of June. Let's see. Manuela says, well done. V says, please hit the like button. Thank you so much, V. Penny says, I'm between 154 and 159. I'm trying to stay at 154. I'm doing good. 10,000 steps a day. Wow, you go, Penny. All right, you go, girl. I wish I could do steps, but my leg is not going to allow me. V says, good job, Penny. That is a great job. Yep, the only thing I can do is like work in the garden, you know, digging in the soil. I'm constantly, bending and pulling weeds and stuff like that. So I get that type of exercise, and maybe going up and down the stairs to wash if Mr. G does not do it for me. And I just mostly just been cutting back on what I eat. And you all would be proud of me. I do not have any ice cream churning today. No homemade ice cream. I cannot have any this month of June. I don't know what I'm going to do. I didn't have any last night. So tonight will be night 2 without any ice cream. But just, cutting back, and I still was able to lose. Penny says, thanks, V. I'm trying to get rid of belly fat. That's the hard part. It is. It really is. Red says, I have been dog walking and yard work to get in shape. Yep, because you trying to tone up. That's the dancer in the house. And Manuel is just smiling. Okay, Manuel, I know you were baking some cakes for something at church. And those cakes were so beautiful. I'm like, I know she made a test cake for the house too. Penny says, my husband just asked me, did you do your 10,000 steps? So I'm going to get started walking. I think I'm at 5,000, plus I'm cutting the sweets. Yep, that's the big part, cutting those sweets. Cutting those sweets. He says, great job, Red. Manuela says, you can make avocado ice cream. No, I'm staying away from ice cream. No ice cream. And I only like vanilla. Judy says, I want to lose 20 pounds in this year. I believe I will. And it's good that you encourage us. Thank you. No problem. If you like, Judy, I can add you to the list of people who like encouragement or want to come and share like a recipe or something that they've been doing. And the reason we're doing this is because in October, I'll be on YouTube for 5 years. So I'm going to have a fashion show. And so the ladies are going to do a makeup look and have a coordinating outfit. And they're going to come up on panel just like Nesha did today. But we'll be having a fashion show to celebrate my 5 years here on YouTube.
That's amazing.
Yep. Penny says, you're doing good, Michelle. Temptation is real. It is. It is, but I'm not doing the ice cream. Uh, my granddaughter is here. I want to make her a dessert. And I don't know if you all saw where I posted, I did some peach cobbler egg rolls. So I might just do the cobbler since she's here, so she'll have a dessert. Mr. G doesn't eat it, so I can like make a small one. And the egg rolls, I think I'll save that for when it's more family around because those need, to be eaten like within the first couple of days. It's and they're better while they're warm. The peach cobbler egg rolls, so good. Um, all right then. Well, I think that is it for today. And again, oh, okay. Mr. G has a new YouTube. We lost his information, so he had to start from scratch. So his handle is now Mr. G218. So he says, "Hey, hey baby, hello everyone. Sorry I'm late." He usually checks in with me during my live, Nesha. So hello, Mr. G.
Hello.
And everyone is saying hello to Mr. G. All right, then. So, again, Nesha, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your presence here on the Age Graceful channel,
Thanks for
Sunday
having me.
live stream. As you evolve and develop and new things happen, please get in touch with me and please ask me to come back so you can update us. I
For
really want to
sure.
keep up with what's going on.
For sure.
Penny,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate it so much. And Judy says, sounds great. I'm in. Okay, so Judy, I'm gonna add your name to the list. And they weren't sharing how much they weigh, only how much weight they wanted to lose by October. So I'm gonna put you down for the 20 pounds. Sound good? Okay, return. Yep. So yes, I want you to come back and update us as you continue to evolve. And I know you're going to do it. I can see it all over your face. I can see it within you. You just have this beautiful glow about you.
Thank you.
Now, your scrub, do you don't use that on your face, do you? It's just a body scrub, right?
Yeah, just a body scrub. I'm
Okay.
It's crazy that you brought that up though, because I'm actually working on formulating something for the face too. Um,
Okay.
I'm usually not 100% open with like creating products for the face because
Mhm.
um I'm just a believer that whatever is manifesting on your body is what's reflecting what's going on internally.
Mhm.
So like sometimes I try to stay away from stuff like that. The body scrub, again, it was created for me. So when I started utilizing all of my products and realizing, well, I could sell because people will see, my friends, my family will see that that I created these products and will want it. So I'm like,
Right.
and then like I said, the idea to start this business was already planted on my heart, but that's why I'm comfortable with the body scrub. I know what it does for me. Um,
Okay.
but again, I am working on something for the face because a lot of people do ask about that. I just
Okay.
want to stay away from like chemicals, colors,
Right.
dyes,
Right. You want something all natural.
all
All,
natural, all
mhm.
natural, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Where
Yeah,
you're a beautiful person, beautiful soul, and it just exudes from within.
thank
And
you.
we love you over here. And don't forget about us. Thank you so very, very much. Come
Likewise,
to sit with me. Okay.
likewise. I will be glad to come back. Thank you so much, Shell.
All right then. Okay, I'm going to drop you down into the comments area, and I think you can just continue to watch on your
With the screen.
telephone there.
Okay.
All right then. All right, guys. Thank you so very much for supporting this live stream and coming to meet Nesha. I appreciate you guys so much. Red, thank you so much for your presence today. You did a wonderful job. She did indeed. And Red, thank you for everything that you do, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even know about Nesha. Thank you very much. Manuela is giving her love, and thank you, Manuela. I appreciate you so much. All right, guys. So the only thing that I want to say until I see you again is that beauty never ends when it begins from within. I love you all. Have a good holiday, and I'll see you at the end of June. Bye now. Thank you so much.